we've got this Kia Rio, and it's my mate's daughter's car, and you've got water in the light. So if it's anything like the Kia Carnival, there should only be a bolt up here and a bolt here, and then it's a matter of working your way out, because there's two clips on the bottom that you just pull the light forward from. So I'm not too sure, but if Kia keeps the same pattern, then that should be all there is. Doing water bottle repair and stuff, and I just thought we'll try and tackle that as well. We'll remove this plastic cover here to start off with, and then we'll see what's involved with once we get past that point. Well, so far it looks the same. So remove the one from here, one from there, and you can see how it's clipping in down the bottom there. So it's the same as the Carnival. Now I'm going to remove these clips as well here, so the front can flex a bit, and that should be enough to get the light out. And that's it. So all I did was, so this could flex out a bit, and then there's a bit of a dip on the end here that goes into that hole there, so you're just going to take that out. Once you take that out, the whole thing comes forward pretty easy, and that's sitting loose now. I just need to disconnect the lights at the back, and then we're going to put some Mefo in here to clean the light out, get that water out. Okay, so we can see how the water's gotten in here. This part's broken, so I don't know how that's gotten broken, but anyway, that's where the moisture's getting into, and it's got quite a lot of water in there. See how it's resting in around here. Sorry, it's resting in there. Quite a lot of water in there. What I'm going to do is just set it up with the car. So I've got water up here and everything. Look for its lowest point, and then I'm going to drill a small hole, not too big, just the smallest drill bit I can find, just enough to let the water out. So, but not big enough to let a big spider in, because we don't want spiders in there making webs and everything. It's just a small hole so the water can get out, and that'll keep the moisture under control so water can get out. I've done that with many lights before, even lights that I can't find out how the water got in there. I'll drill a hole in the lowest point so water can get out and keep the moisture out of the light. As this light's been like this for quite a long time, you can see the colour of it, how it's gone all yucky like that instead of clear. Okay, well that's what I'll do. I'm going to use Mefo in a second to splash it all out. So that's kind of how the light goes in. I'm not going to set it all the way back in just yet. And you can see the low point is here. So that's where I'm going to drill a hole, let water out. Okay, you can see where I've drilled a hole there into the low point, but through the black part there, and it goes through into the light itself. So when I tip that upside down, water was dripping out. Now I'm going to put, say, maybe 1/4 of a cup of methylated spirits into the light to give her a slush around and try and get what water is in there out. Okay, so you'll see there's no exact measurement. I just pour into here what I think is about enough. Well, that's mixing of water already down there. Now, methylated spirits evaporates pretty quick, so you don't need to worry about that being still in there. That can catch on fire or whatever when you're finished, because once it's all done, the Mefo's done its thing, it's going to evaporate out and should be fine. Now I'm going to give that a shake around, get whatever I can get out. Probably put some more Mefo in after that, because I saw that down the bottom there it mixed with water, so there's a fair bit of water in there still. We'll get that out, and just should only take 2 times this time, and then 1 more time, and that's it. There you go, lights back in, and you can see the light's been damaged by the water that's already been in there, but it's all going to drip out. There's no more haze in there, that's all cleared up. So I'll just turn the other lights on to check that, and I can move on to the next job. Okay, so we have a problem here. What I'm going to do is, you can see how this doesn't line up. Now it's a bit of an effort to get the light bulb out, because half of it was on top where it should be and the other half was underneath. I'm going to try and fix this best as I can. Now I've got pre-drilled a hole into there where I've marked it. You can see that there, and a little bracket that I've made out of stainless here. That's going to go over the top there, and that's going to pull that up. But there'll be too much stress to try and pull that up on its own. So I'm going to heat with a little blowtorch here first, make the material soft, not here, because that's where I'm going to be pulling it up. Over here is where it needs to be straightened. So I'm going to heat over here, and then put this on, get the screw, and screw it in so it pulls it up. And I'll leave it like that for probably about 5 minutes when I'm finished there. So it cools down, then I'll take it back off, and I'm going to put some plastic glue underneath it, the adhesive stuff. And then I'll put it back on so it puts the stainless steel and that together, and that should make a strong repair for that area. And then I'll focus on the other side after that to get this light in properly. You can see here how that's now cooling down. I'm just going to hold it for a few minutes just so the plastic hardens up again, and then I can pull the underneath part up a little bit so it straightens the top part there. We're lining this up so the light bulb can go back in properly. Sorry, the camera goes out of view there. It's a bit tricky to be looking at the job and looking at the camera at the same time, but you get the idea of what I'm doing. So what I'm doing this part here is just a drill bit in reverse so I don't drill any holes, just scuffing up around here so I can get some plastic weld on there. So I'm going to scratch up this whole area around here and get some plastic weld on there. Then I can lift this section here up. Is that a focus for me? Lift that section there up, close that gap, and fix that properly. Okay, you can see where I put the screw hole in there better now. The plastic's not all bent down. Now the bulb is in there, it twisted in there perfectly fine. It's now holding everything in place for me so I can get the glue ready and put that on there, and then I'm going to press that down with the mount that I made, and I'm probably going to put another screw over here, and I'll get some glue in there as well. And then once it's hardened up over the next 15-20 minutes, I can take the globe out, take the electrical tape off. The electrical tape is to stop the glue sticking onto the light itself and buggering up the seal there, so it's only going to go so far, and then I can take that back out. But you'll see what that looks like when it's finished. And yeah, we've nearly finished the repair here. It's looking good. So it looks a bit of a mess, but it's a bit tricky to get down there. You can see how the glue has gotten onto the electrical tape there. That's going to be fine when I twist that back out. It'll clean that area up, and you can see the glue coming through the mount here that I made. I decided to use 2 screws for that area, so that's pressed down. That's not going to break again. And I mixed the glue on the area where there was a crack here to get into that crack as well, so basically get into the whole area here, so seal all that up. When I take that light out, everything should line up. Now I've forgotten to mention a few times now, I'll keep on thinking about it but forget to mention it. See how this is stainless, by the way, so that's never going to rust. Now see how I've bent the edges over? That is to help the strength. If that was just a flat plate, it could bend and bow and everything, but by giving it an edge, it strengthens up that plate, so to prevent that from bending. So you can see with the light out now, everything is lined up again, everything looks good. Just the glue needs to be trimmed a bit there, so I'll use a razor to trim that back, and we're all good. Okay, that's in and done. Now we'll get this water out.